भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
Oh, yeah. I made her go get this. I know.
ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ
हे ब्रह्मांड के रचयिता, हम तुम्हारी असीम कृपा के प्रार्थी हैं। तुम्हारी अनंत ऊर्जा हमें स्वास्थ्य दे, बुद्धि दे तथा सुख का पथ प्रदर्शित करे। सारांश स्वरूप गायत्री महामंत्र किसी देवी देवता नहीं, अपितु उस ऊर्जा को आह्वान है जिससे जीवन संभव होता है। इसीलिए गायत्री धर्मों की संकीर्ण सीमाओं से परे है।
ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ
ब्रह्मांड के रचयिता स्वयं ब्रह्मा जी की रचना है गायत्री महामंत्र। सब मंत्रों का मूल मंत्र, सर्व वेदों का सार। परंतु दैनंदिन जीवन के स्तर पर गायत्री का सस्वर पठन मंत्रोच्चार करने वाले व्यक्ति में ऊर्जा का संचार करता है। एक प्रकार से विषाद, ग्लानि एवं तनाव की स्वर औषधि।
ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
गायत्री मंत्र का एक एक अक्षर, एक एक वर्ण हमारे शरीर के चक्रों को, ऊर्जा केंद्रों को प्रभावित करता है। इसीलिए इसके पठन में सही उच्चारण तथा स्वर नियंत्रण महत्वपूर्ण है।
ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्
O Creator of the universe, we meditate upon Thy supreme splendor. May thy radiant power illumine our intellect, destroy evil thoughts, and guide us in the direction of lasting happiness. In a nutshell, the Gayatri Mantra is an invocation to the universal energy. Little wonder that it is considered to be the most secular prayer to the divine powers that be.
ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्
Emanating from Brahma, the creator of the universe himself, Gayatri Mantra represents the essence of all Vedas. But on a mundane level, its audible recitation seems to infuse energy in the reciter, building a higher level of confidence, a kind of oral antidepressant.
ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्
Every syllable of the mantra is said to positively affect all the energy centers or chakras in the human body. Hence, correct pronunciation and intonation are very important.
ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्
We'll start with the prayer, Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvasvaha तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. Do मृत्युंजय मंत्र. ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्. ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्. ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्. We chant a mantra for completion of the soul's journey. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So I'll say a few words about our funeral rites. These are called in our ancient text as Antyeshti, the final wish of the soul, so that these rites performed will make her travel to the higher world. Unlike many other religions, Hindus do not bury their bodies, but they consign the body to fire because we believe that fire is very sacred, and as a result, what they did was whenever we have a new home, the son will go and get the fire from the father, and then he'll start a fire ritual in the house, and that will go on for life. So that fire is called Trikagni or Trikalagni, which is lit three times a day, morning, evening, and afternoon. They offer various material into that fire, indicating that the life is constantly changing, and fire is a change element. So change is what is required for us to uh, feel the time. When there is change, time happens past, present, future, and when that happens, you feel like you are living. When you experience time, you feel you are existing. If you don't experience change and time, you don't feel you are alive. So life itself is symbolized by this change, and change is initiated by the fire itself. And this change is nothing but sacrifice. Sacrifice means you always give up something in the past to get to the present, and then give up in the present to go to the future. So sacrifice is very important. Sacrifice always happens in our life without our knowledge. When you breathe in, you have to sacrifice that air out, breathe out. So everything we take in, we should give out something. So in this way, when you only do the sacrifice, you move ahead. And similarly here also, the soul now need to sacrifice the old relationships, old family, old friends, the whole world itself, and move on to the next higher life. That is the reason fire is also used in this cremation, in the final rites of Hindus. So this ritual itself is called a yajna. It's called Naramedham in Sanskrit. Naramedham means offering the physical body into the fire. So the soul itself, Neelam Bajaj herself, is doing this yajna, but because she is living outside her body at this time, as we believe, she is doing the yajna with the help of the family. So the family is initiating this yajna where she herself is offering her body in the fire so that she can ascend to the higher worlds. That is the reason it's called Naramedham. It's also called Pitrumedham, where the parent's body is offered into the fire. So the kids will do that by offering her body into the yajna. And Naramedham, because we believe that when you have kids, the physical body also becomes immortal. The everybody believes soul is immortal, but when you have kids, according to our scriptures, the physical body also becomes immortal because even though physically she's gone, but just like a banyan tree throwing roots and becoming new trees, she's constantly multiplying herself in the form of kids, grandkids, great grandkids. In this way, she's always existing for many, many generations or thousands of years. So, as we are living today, coming through evolution for millions of years, our DNAs and cells have started millions of years back, and still we are living because we're the offsprings of many older people. In this way, she will also be living forever in the bodies of her children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, great great grandchildren, and so on and so forth. So, as she is living in her own kids, therefore, when the kids do, it is herself who is doing this yajna. That's why it's called Naramedham. And with this yajna, of course, she will lose the attachment to all the family in a way, because if she's very attached, she cannot travel ahead. So she but deliberately, it is a process done so that she loses attachment with this place, so that she can ascend to the next world. So in that way, the body is offered into the fire, and and they always carried in India the body on their shoulders. Even though they have the carts, they didn't use it because mother or father carried the kids so many years. Even though it's very hard for them to breathe and walk, they still carry the kids and walk and do so many things. So to remember that, they generally carried the body on their shoulders and took them to the cremation ground. So it was generally, the cremation ground was always outside the town or village. So they have to walk a long distance. When they're walking the long distance, they always took at least 5 breaks. The 5 breaks starts from the time they get out of the house, and they put it down 5 times and take a break and a rest a little bit. But in the process, at every step, they will take a rice ball and break it into pieces and throw it in all the 4 directions. indicating that now her body is being diffused back into the nature. So the rice ball indicates her body being sent back into the different parts of the nature. Like that, they stop 5 times, indicating the 5 elements: earth, the solid matter, and the liquid matter, and then the fire, air, space. All of them are merging back in the space, in the nature. As soon as person dies, heat goes out and breath goes out. So air and fire are already gone. So we have some liquids and solids. Memory, intellect, and all that is in the space. All that is also gone. So only solids and liquids are left. These are being dispersed into the nature in the fire ritual, but that is indicated by distributing these rice balls in all the 4 directions 5 times. So they stop 5 times, and the last stop is in the cremation ground itself. There they break the balls and throw in different directions, indicating her body is dispersed back into the nature. But the last fifth stop is in the cremation ground itself, where they do yajna and leave one rice ball in her hand, indicating that this rice ball indicates all her good karmas, which are going with her to the next life. The one rice ball is kept in her near the right hand. The rest of them are dispersed in all the 4 directions. So this is considered to be a very, very sacred ritual to at least thank a little bit what mother did to the kids, or father and mother did to the kids, because we believe that parents are the cause of the birth of the children and their very existence and experience in enjoying this world. So they have to thank their parents. One of them is to do this final rites, and that's the reason this is considered very sacred, and it really satisfies the soul that their kids have done, helped her to travel. Because we believe that the father attracts the soul into himself and then he sends it into the mother, and then mother sends the soul out into the world as a new person, new citizen. So it's a very great thankfulness to repay her, so that we evolve her into the next world, where she takes birth as a different person in the higher worlds. And then again, so she gave us birth, so we are also trying to give her a new birth in a new life in a different world. That is the reason we consider this to be very sacred and a great thankfulness by the kids. These are the beliefs we have in Hindu rituals. With that, I will just pray one more prayer, and I will let other people do the rest of the funeral rites. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutangamaya. Om shanti shanti shanti.
Thank you all for coming to honor my mom. My mom was born in Haldwani, India. She was one of 7 kids, being in the middle. She was blessed with wonderful parents and a childhood full of amazing memories. Growing up, she got her master's degree in political science and got married a few years later. She never thought she would leave India, let alone move halfway across the world, landing in Winnipeg in the middle of winter. Not sure how impressed she was with that. A few years later, my brother was born, then me. My mom was here by herself with no other family, and so she learned to do everything herself in a new country. She made wonderful family friends and went through school again to work. My mom was the best mom anyone could ever have. Loving, kind, smart, beautiful, a great cook, funny, and the most selfless person you could ever meet. And she didn't have a mean bone in her body. She loved her family here, her grandkids, and her family back home more than you can imagine. She did so much for my dad, my brother, and I couldn't have been more grateful, nor could I ever repay her. She was so encouraging and showed us so much love. I loved my mom immensely, and I am so blessed she was my mom. I really hope I made her proud, not only as her daughter, but as a person in general. She always said I did and always told me how much she loved us. The last few years, my mom was getting weaker, but this came as a shock. My dad and I revolved our lives around her as she did for us. After all the machines were turned off, her heart beat for 36 hours as she was breathing on her own. Her heart was so full, was so strong and so full of love for us that none of us wanted to let go. What I am grateful for is she is at peace and not in any more pain. All my mom wanted for me was to be happy, strong, smile more, and finally find someone and get married. How do I do that now since she's gone? In the end, I will try my best and honor her wishes, so hopefully I will continue to make her proud of me as the years go on. On behalf of my dad, he loved my mom with all his heart and can never be thankful enough for everything she did. She had the most beautiful heart imaginable, and he will miss her dearly. And finally, thank you to the hematology team at Cancer Care Manitoba and Dr. Chakraborty for giving my mom tremendous care so she could have the best quality life. We love you, Mom, with all of our hearts.
Try to sing. I'm not the best singer, but I'll try my best. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। सीताराम सीताराम भज प्यारे तू सीताराम। सीताराम सीताराम भज प्यारे तू सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। केशव माधव तेरे नाम सबको सम्मति दो भगवान। केशव माधव तेरे नाम सबको सम्मति दो भगवान। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। मात कौसल्या प्यारे राम दशरथ राज दुल्हारे राम। मात कौसल्या प्यारे राम दशरथ राज दुल्हारे राम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। जय रघुनंदन जय घनश्याम जानकी वल्लभ सीताराम। जय रघुनंदन जय घनश्याम जानकी वल्लभ सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम।
Um, Namaste, everyone. My name is Sharad Srivastav. And our families have been friends for since 1980, when my parents first met at the mandir. Very much appreciate the opportunity to try and share some thoughts on Auntie. and try and capture who she was to us. Um, I'll do my best to try and capture the quality of person she was, the warmth she extended everyone. And when Vinita said that she had not a mean bone in her body, completely true. She was kindness personified. Much of my understanding of Auntie has been through the eyes of a child, whether it was a young child or an adult child. And so I didn't have the experiences and the challenges that Auntie did of coming to a new land, building a new life, functioning in every single second in a different language, and rebuilding everything. But with time and maturity, reflection, and a greater appreciation of the pioneers in our Hindu community that came and built a life for us, I think I have a greater understanding of Auntie's experiences. And at the same time, I recognize that there are people in this room who knew her much better than I did. Uh, I think the reason why our families became such close friends is because those who are familiar with India know that India is 1.3 billion people and hundreds of languages and different ways of doing things. But in, in downtown Winnipeg at 854 Ellis, our two families met. And my dad shared with me that he remembered walking behind Uncle and Auntie at the mandir, at the temple, and hearing such beautiful Hindi. He said, oh, ये लगता है कि ये लोग हिंदी बोलने वाले हैं हम लोग के इलाके के आसपास के हैं. And it was at that moment in those conversations that our parents learned that they were from not only the same region, but our family and uncle were from the exact same city. So Hardoi, Lucknow, Lakhimpur Kheri, all are stones throws away from each other in the state of Uttar Pradesh. And being so many time zones away and having that affinity for language and same regional expressions helped bring a comfort level between our family, which lasted decades. And I remember as a young child, my brother and I and various family friends whose children are here today, we always felt very welcome in the Bajaj household. And we would hear from Auntie's voice words such as beta, पेट भर के खा लिए और ले लो हम तुम्हारे लिए प्लेट तैयार करते हैं. These are words that we heard from the voices of so many of our aunties, always looking out for the kids, making sure that we were satisfied. Their sense of nurture wasn't limited to their own children, it was extended to all of us. There was a dessert that Auntie used to make. I can't quite remember, but it was with a white cake. My mom and I were talking about it just last week. We've never tasted it anywhere else, but there's something she did with that, as simple and as basic as a white cake. But she put a twist on it, and it was something that we enjoyed every time we went to her house. We remember birthday parties in the park for Vinita and Sunil. Space to play, make a mess, enjoy nature. And in all honesty, we knew there were some aunties, when it came to going to their house, they were a bit more relaxed about us making a mess. And Auntie was like that. We spilled something on the ground, it was no big deal. No, don't worry about it, wipe it up, clean up, move on, keep having fun. Moved back to the party, a total comfort and ease. And why? Because she was kind and gentle. And as much as uncles are warm and funny, It was the aunties who ensured that we felt the warmest sense of welcome. And Bajaj auntie was particularly strong with this. There was a time, Uncle, I think you were in India. There might have been in some reason that you had to go suddenly to India. My parents were already in India, I think, at that moment. And I felt it was important that I go and visit with your mom. I don't think I've ever mentioned this to you. I don't think I've ever mentioned it to my own parents. But we spent hours that afternoon talking, Auntie and I. And as a young guy in my 20s, there was a point in my life where I was very uncertain about whether I would quite measure up to what my parents wanted of me or what I thought my parents wanted of me. And Auntie, uh, with her parent perspective and the wisdom of a mother, and the big heart she had, preceding being a mother, she said to me that I was very fortunate because my parents were very proud of me and that my parents were expressive of that. And her words that day were like a warm blanket. I needed to hear that. She, maternal instinct on. Meant a lot. And it's that ability to nurture, which I think lent her so much success in her work. Because I can just imagine her working with young children and looking out for them and reassuring mums and dads that everything was going to be okay. And go on, and I'll take care of your little ones in the meanwhile. And you have to have a big heart to be able to do that day in and day out. As I grew older still, Auntie welcomed my wife, Nidhi, with graciousness. Auntie was there at all the sangeets, the God Bharai, the Graha Pravesh, at every important moment in our life. Her presence, her smile, her blessings were with us. I remember at one of our Graha Praveshas, Auntie and Uncle had given us a set of mixing bowls. I'm a young guy, I'm like, I don't understand the importance of mixing bowls. And Auntie said, no, ye tumhari grihasti mein kaam aayega. This will come, this will be of good use in your household and your family. And she knew. We used those bowls for close to 2 decades. They were part of our daily nurture and food. Auntie knew best. And Sunena, I know Auntie was very happy when you came into Sunil's life and their family's life. And I am sure that in Auntie you saw a wonderful dadima for your children. Quick to praise, play with children, hug them, and I'm sure help wherever she could. My wife and I were very fortunate that we had a preview of that upon the arrival of our 2 boys. In this land of limited grandparents and relatives, Auntie was one of that troop of people who filled that role. There is one area where I would have liked to have known Auntie better, and I think this is a fault within our community. I did not know until quite recently that Auntie had a master's in political studies. And I know that with Uncle's expertise in law, Auntie would have been a keen intellectual match. I'm not sure how many women in the 1970s or 60s in the Western world were pursuing their masters in political studies. I suspect in India in the 1960s and 70s the percentage was important, but perhaps less than here. But I can imagine the type of work, the types of readings that Auntie would have had, writings she would have made, commentary she would have been able to engage in those tumultuous times in India in the 1960s and 70s and the world over. I didn't know that Auntie was someone who enjoyed drawing. And I'm hoping that in the future that I'll be able to see some of her work. Should Sunil and Vanita share that, I'm sure there are examples of that in her home. But her most important works of art, her most beautiful creations are clearly Vinita and Sunil, and the home she built with Uncle. In that home that she raised children, and children who value work ethic, who value perseverance, and a sense of service. In our Indian community, we put a lot of emphasis on degrees and salaries. But it's really not about that. Any parent worth his or her salt knows it's much more important than that. Vinita has chosen a career in service of people, improving their quality of lives so they can do the most basic things: chew, swallow, be healthy, be strong, and have pride in their appearance. And she volunteers with Special Olympics for years. And Sunil has grown into a kind and compassionate husband and father. And we all know as parents, sometimes life throws us surprises. And I have heard of how you have consistently been there shoulder to shoulder with Sunana, building a life for your children. And Uncle, I can just imagine how energetic and playful of a dadu you are to Suhana and Suraj, and that Neelam auntie would have loved and enjoyed so much seeing you in that role. Women succeed in bringing a softness to our edges as men, and I know that you would consider yourself extremely blessed and fortunate to have had auntie as a partner and at times as a guide. Before I close, I wanted to say that when my wife and I were expecting our children, we did what every parent did. We thought of names, and we had a system. If we were to have boys, we thought their name should begin with Sha, which is a letter in our alphabet. And if we had a girl, the name would begin with Na, as my wife's name begins with Nidhi. We had very briefly, or I had very briefly toyed with the name Neelam, but discarded it immediately, and I'll tell you why. In our culture, it is not considered appropriate to name children after one's elders. And that is because if you were to scold your children on anyone who's raised a teenager knows it happens. But if you were to scold your children and you take the name of the elder, that is showing a lack of respect. But I just remembered thinking then so often, and even this past week, just how beautiful a name Neelam was and is. It means a sapphire, blue. And as I think of Auntie, it just seems so appropriate. It's not icy cold like a diamond. It's not brazen or ostentatious like a red ruby, but it's blue, it's sapphire. It is sea, it is lake, it is river, it is sky. And my hope is that as Sunil, Vanita, Sunana, Uncle, Suhana, and Suraj, as you sometimes look out onto the horizon and see the sky and see a beautiful lake and a deep ocean, that blue reminds you that Auntie's there in every moment, in front of you, below you, above you, embracing you. May you think of her on the most important of occasions. May you think of her in the quietest of mundane days. I hope you find strength and solace in each other. She was a great woman, a great person, and a great influence. Sukh और दुख दोनों बांटे जाते हैं. And I hope that as Uncle and your entire family move forward, that you reach out in those quiet moments when you want some help, that you accept the warmth and the offering of the people in this room and beyond. I think it would bring Auntie some solace. Thank you.
हरि भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं, हरि भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं, हरि नाम बिना आनंद नहीं, हरि नाम बिना आनंद नहीं, प्रेम भक्ति बिना उद्धार नहीं, प्रेम भक्ति बिना उद्धार नहीं, गुरु सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं, गुरु सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं, हरि भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं, हरि भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं, जप ध्यान बिना संयोग नहीं, जप ध्यान बिना संयोग नहीं, प्रभु दर्श बिना प्रज्ञान नहीं, प्रभु दर्श बिना प्रज्ञान नहीं, दय धर्म बिना सत्य कर्म नहीं, दय धर्म बिना सत्य कर्म नहीं, भगवान बिना कोई अपना नहीं, भगवान बिना कोई अपना नहीं, हरि नाम बिना परमात्मा नहीं, हरि नाम बिना परमात्मा नहीं, हरि भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं, हरि भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं, हरि नाम बिना आनंद नहीं, हरि नाम बिना आनंद नहीं, हरि भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं। इसमें करते हैं।
My family would like to thank everybody for attending today, both in person as well as live through the live stream, specifically the friends and family around the world. Mom was a gentle soul who could make everybody around her feel happy and safe. Her smile was infectious. Mom was Vinitha and my biggest cheerleaders. And she would support us even if we were doing the wrong thing, which happened more often than not. Because she knew that we learned from our mistakes. She pushed us to be a better person. Mom has not had an easy life. Unfortunately, over her life, she's seen many of her siblings, specifically 3 of her younger brothers and older sister, pass away from health and non-related health issues. Even with experiencing this kind of tragedy, Mom would always look at a positive side of life. Mom has been unwell for some time, in particular during the COVID pandemic. Dad and Vinitha would be in town, being in town, would look after her, especially Dad. Dad felt his responsibility was to basically make sure that Mom was taken care of, which meant driving her to numerous, we're talking thousands of doctor's appointments, procedures, tests, and other odds and ends. Dad's life really revolved around Mom. The only solace that I can provide to both Vinitha and Dad is that Mom is not suffering anymore and is at peace looking down on us. Mom enjoyed spending time with her family, cooking, drawing, traveling, and entertaining her friends. I want to provide a little insight into Mom, specifically her love of cooking and her love of family. As some of you guys might be aware, I actually live in the Greater Toronto area, but my job allows me to travel across Canada, which I'm regularly doing. So I specifically make sure that I'm in Winnipeg at least once to twice a year. I would come in without actually telling my parents that I was coming into town just to surprise them. So I just walk into the house. I'd ring the doorbell at like 10, 11 at night, and I just walk in the house, freak my parents out completely. First thing my mom would say to me when I walk in, first she'd touch my stomach and say, it looks like you're gaining a little bit of weight. Of course, that's what they have to do. And then next thing you know, she'd force feed me food, even though I ate on the plane and probably in the lounge before I hopped on the plane. So I was already stuffed as it is. So I slept like a baby every night I was here. One of my last trips to Winnipeg pre-COVID, I arranged to stay an extra day on the weekend just to spend some time with mom and dad. Mom and dad informed me that that mom had an appointment at cancer care for a non-cancer related treatment on Friday afternoon, but they'd be free after that to spend some time together. I had a couple meetings downtown, so I said, you know what, I can move my schedule around, and I'll meet them at cancer care downtown, so we can spend some time together over there, as well as do dinner. And of course, we did Olive Garden because they love the breadsticks. So when I got to cancer care, my dad gave me directions to go upstairs and go to this specific area where mom was getting her treatment. So I got over there and I couldn't believe the crowd around mom and dad. They had the staff over there were just talking to them. It felt like that they were part of the family. I have never seen that where the interaction, it was just like people coming up to dad, saying, how are you doing? Offering him coffee and seeing how my mom was doing just the whole time. So I came and sat down beside my mom and just seeing what's going on. And then my mom started introducing me some of the staff over there, and they knew everything about me. They were asking me both about Suhana and Suraj and Sanana, and they were just telling me stories that my mom had told them, and it was just it was just infectious. And you can see that's my mom. She's so proud of us, and she likes to brag about us, and she's just got that positive energy, and that really comes out. And it was took place at Cancer Care Manitoba. It was just they were all over her. They loved her. Um, that's the connection that my mom has with Cancer Care Manitoba, and that's the reason we've chosen to support them in mom's honor. Mom, you're an amazingly strong woman, and I'm honored that you're able to have you as my mother. I'll pass on what you've taught me and continue to make you proud. Please keep all of us safe. I know you're with Nana and Nani and your brothers and sisters. Thank you.
This concludes our service. So we request all the friends to come forward from the back and offer flowers and love to her. We start from the back. You come one by one and take flowers and offer for her. Flowers.
The flowers are up at the bowl over here.
So I can hold some flowers. Sunil, hold some flowers. Some. Put that box down. Just hold flowers. That's all. We're going to pray and seek the blessings of all the gods. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Lakshmi Narayan Sri Vigneshwaraya Namaha Sri Lakshmi Narayana Abhyam Namaha Uma Maheshwara Abhyam Namaha Vani Hiranyagarbha Abhyam Sachi Purandara Abhyam Arundhati Vasishta Abhyam Namaha Sri Sita Rama Abhyam Namaha Maitreyi Katyayani Sahita Yajnavalkya Abhyam Namaha Rukmini Sachabhama Radha Samita Sri Krishna Abhyam Namaha Sri Anjaneyaya Namaha वली देवसेन सुब्रह्मण्य परब्रह्मणे नमः सकल सकल दिग्देवताभ्यां सकल भूदेवताभ्यां नमः राष्ट्र देवताभ्यां नमः ग्राम देवताभ्यां नमः गृह देवताभ्यां नमः आदित्यादि नवग्रह देवताभ्यां नमः आदित्याय च सोमाय मंगलाय बुधाय च गुरु शुक्र शनिभ्यश्च राहवे केतवे नमः offer the flowers in her heart Sunil offer the flowers in her heart take some more flower petals in your hand and take some black sesame seeds there take one tulsi take here tulsi is in this plate. Take some supari and few tulsi leaves, few of them, and three suparis. Yeah, three. And take some rice. Now we're going to do a sankalpa, saying that you are doing this ritual. I am helping you. with the mantras only while you do the actual ritual itself. And so you're going to state your name. So your name is Sunil. Do you remember any Gotra ji? Bajaj ji, आपका गोत्र कुछ याद है? गोत्र Kashyap Gotra. Yeah. Kashyap Gotrasya. Then say with this mantra with me. Mama, Matuhu, Matuhu. Tell your mom's name. Neelam Bajaj. Antyeshti Karma, Aham Karishye. Offer it. Then the heart also. So we are going to be doing the yajna of the body. As a result, we are going to sprinkle the body sanctification. So Gangajal is there in that glass. Take that glass, this glass here, and put some tulsi in there and some flower petals. With the flower petals, sprinkle water on her, okay? Yeah, and sprinkle the water on her. Kashyapa Gotrasya Neelam Bredasya Mridistana Shivanimitta Snanam Maya Dhyate Tava Pratishthitam. Offer those flower petals and the tulsi leaves on her also. So in the place of garland, we're going to offer flowers, remembering all her love and many of the series of loving actions she did towards you and your and the family. So take some flowers and sprinkle on her. Kashyapa Gotrasya Neelam Bredasya Mridistana Shivanimitta Pushpamalam Maya Dhyate Tava Pratishthitam. Now, so we have to offer her chandan, indicating her body is like chandan being rubbed and rubbed and rubbed, giving out nice smell, but slowly with the time, everything evaporates. Just like that, the body also evaporates. So we're going to put chandan on her forehead. We'll call your dad. You can put just like sindur on her. You can put the kumkum on her. Yeah, on her parting of the hair where you put generally. Yeah, and then he will put the chandan on her forehead. Chandan is his bottle. Bottles? No, no, no. This one. First, let your dad do it, and then you do it. आप कर लीजिए कुंकुम मया धेते तव प्रतिष्ठिता. Now you put mildly, already she has a tika there, so you just put a little chandan on her forehead. Use your little finger and put a dot on her. Yeah. Yeah. Chandanam maya dhete tava pratishthitam. Now you take this candle. Oh, there's a candle there already, right? Now you can take that one itself and go around her. Not working? Okay. It's working now. Go around her. Go around. Clockwise. यमद्वारे महाघोरे अंधेन तमसावृते तत्रावलोकनार्थाय दीपो यमोपतिष्ठिताम् कश्यप गोत्रस्य नीलम मृतस्थाने no don't go around go here मृतस्थाने शवनिमित्त दीपम मया धीयते तवोपतिष्ठिताम्. Put it back please. इसके बाद है ना हम पिंड रखना है. You follow Hindi? Barely okay. We put the four pindas now in the four corners, which are in India distributed in the four directions, but here we just going to put in the four corners. So you take the whole pinda with that leaf, add one supari to it. Take the whole plate close by there so it's easy. So Sunil, you're going to hold that whole. Yeah. Supari you can add it here. Just choose any corner and go clockwise. Kashyapa Gotrasya कश्यप गोत्रस्य नीलं प्रदेश द्वारदेशे पान्दनिमित्त ईशितपिण्ड मया धीते तव प्रतिष्ठिताम् कश्यप गोत्रस्य नीलं प्रदेशस्य चत्वारि केचन निमित्त ईशितपिण्ड मया धीते तव प्रतिष्ठिताम् कश्यप गोत्रस्य नीलं प्रदेशस्य विश्वान्त भूतनाम्ना निमित्त ईशितपिण्ड मया धीते तव प्रतिष्ठिताम् the last one near her hand. Okay. कश्यप गोत्रस्य नीलं प्रदेशस्य हस्ते साधक निमित्त ईशितपिण्ड मया धीते तव प्रतिष्ठिताम् So now we put that one down. So we're going to do, this is going to be the last step. We are going to do a small fire ritual. So we're going to open this side. There's a small latch there. So go around her, take this cart a little bit away. Yeah, move it slightly to that side, 1 feet that side, and go around and yeah, go around her. All the family can go around her, and सभी लोग थोड़ा चावल इसके थ्रोट के पास डाल दीजिए सारे लोग हैं ना एक परिक्रमा करेंगे करके थोड़ा चावल लेके इधर डाल दीजिए yeah indicating that you're feeding her last time first offer no offer first it's good offer the rice first then go around yeah offer it yeah drop it yeah now go around as you go around as you come here just touch her feet अब टीच टच करने का जरूरत अब फीट टच करने का जरूरत नहीं है आपको फीट टच करने का जरूरत नहीं है because she's younger than you right yeah you can touch several times no one time सती जी कुछ बोल रहा है कुछ concern है you have any concern you are saying something I couldn't hear are you saying anything to me are you saying anything to me no okay अब बैठिए okay so if you don't have the tradition don't do it but it's the last time so it's sacred yeah so now you take that chandan stick I put here the chandan stick and with the camphor take the whole thing without dropping the camphor and we're going to do we are doing a fire ritual without fire but we are doing the mantras put that on her heart okay om bhurbhuvassorvamiti agnim pratisthapya put it on there now take these 3 sticks from there take the whole in this big long one it's I already cut it open no here sir this one what you're seeing is right thing it's open already take it's already open take 3 of them and go, 3 of them go in front there ओम चत्वारि शृंगत्रय अस्य पादद्वय शीर्षे सप्तहस्तासो अस्य त्रिदा बद्ध वृषभ रोरविति महोदेव मच्चगम आविवेश स्वाहा just place one on her place across her chest body yeah ओम चत्वारि शृंगत्रय अस्य पादद्वय शीर्षे सप्तहस्तासो अस्य त्रिदा बद्ध वृषभ आविवेश स्वाहा second one ओम चत्वारि शृंगत्रय अस्य पादद्वय शीर्षे सप्तहस्तासो अस्य you put all the 3 okay from now onwards when I say swaha you put it okay no now take the samagri put the samagri on the sides of the casket on the sides okay when I say swaha you drop okay okay lomabhya swaha त्वचे स्वाहा लोहिताय स्वाहा मेदोभ्य स्वाहा मांसेभ्य स्वाहा स्तनुभ्य स्वाहा अस्थिभ्य स्वाहा मज्जाभ्य स्वाहा रेतसे स्वाहा पायवे स्वाहा आयसाय स्वाहा प्रायसाय स्वाहा संज्ञाय स्वाहा व्यसाय स्वाहा उज्जाय स्वाहा शुचे स्वाहा शोचते स्वाहा शोचमानाय स्वाहा शोकाय स्वाहा तपसे स्वाहा तप्यते स्वाहा तप्यमानाय स्वः तप्ताय स्वः धर्माय स्वः निष्कृत्ये स्वः प्रायश्चित्यै स्वः भेषजाय स्वः यमाय स्वः तन्तकाय स्वः मृत्यवे स्वः ब्रह्मणे स्वः ब्रह्महत्यायै स्वः विश्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यः वा पृथिवीभ्यः स्वः प्रेतवाहाय स्वः प्रेतसंख्याय स्वः प्रेतपाय स्वः प्रेतभूमिपाय स्वः प्रेतहन्त्र्यै स्वाहा. Just on the sides you can put. You can also put now the rest of them. Take that camphor one and the diya madhya, put it outside. Outside. Om Chittim cha Swaha, Chittischa Swaha, Chitta Om Akutim cha Swaha, Om Vignatam cha Swaha, Manaswasyaha, Manasa Sakvaryascha Swaha, Darsascha Swaha, Radhantaranchaya Swaha, Om Bhu Swaha, Suva Swaha, Surya, Om Bhur Bhuva Suva Swaha, Prajapati. Now put all of it around it. Yeah. On the sides. Yeah. Now take all the fruits, arrange them in the big nariyal near the head, the weightless one put near the feet. That one you're holding near the head. Om Pur Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. And the other one here, near the feet, the other one. Rest of the fruits just arrange anywhere in the casket. Yeah. Om Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha, Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha, Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. Last offering. Don't sit down, but offer it. Yeah. Yeah. The sides. On the sides. See, this side there's a lot of empty space. Offer it around there. Okay. Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. Offer it there. Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. Just use a plate. Yeah, dump is a word you use, but empty it basically. Yeah. Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. There's like a space in the empty space. You can offer it there. Yeah, offer it all there. And now all the other plate, anything you see in the plates, offer it there. Just like that. That one also same, offer it there. Offer. And the other one too. On the sides, yeah. So just put the flowers here. No, flowers let anybody in the family put it too. डाल दीजिए. After the flowers, we're going to use this shawl to cover her. After the flowers, no, or before the flowers, put the shawl on her first. You can take the help of each other and do it. It looks nice having the flowers on the top. Now for the flowers on the top. The shoulder side.
My shoulder? Oh, I thought it was
Just water. Like they carry a pot. So you can now Sunil, you this need to be taken and we'll drop it outside. So we'll give it to maybe one of the somebody can drop it outside. Maybe she will go drop it on somewhere on the side on a stone so that it breaks. It should break. That's all. Take this one. Hold this one. This is like a torch. Imagine. Okay. Go around and touch the torch near her head. Imagine it as a torch fire. Yeah, walk around first. Yeah. कृत्वा सुदुष्कृतां कर्म जानता वाप्य जानता मृत्युकालवशं प्राप्य नरं पंचम पंचत्वमागतः धर्माधर्म समायुक्तं लोभमोह समावृतः देहेयं सर्वगात्राणि दिव्यान् लोकान् स गच्छतु. Now go to the head and you're lighting the fire and then dropping the sticks inside. To the- So now just pray, and when your sister comes, we'll all pray. Your father and your sister, everybody will pray for 2 minutes, and then they will go inside. They'll go inside. I'm going to pray now. Okay, you're going to say this mantra if you could. Say this mantra with me. Om Anadi Nidhano Devaha Shankachakra Gadadharaha Akshaya Pundarikaksha Preta Moksha Prado Bhava Krishna Krishna Krupalo Twama Gatinam Gatirbhava Samsararnava Magnanam Prasida Purushottama Om Tatsat Pretatma Shantihi Om Tatsat Pretatma Shantihi Om Tatsat Pretatma Shantihi. So suddenly just touch the corner and move the casket a little bit, indicating you're carrying it, okay? Prehi padavi purye nene te purve pitara paretaha ubha rajana swadhaya madanta yamam pasyasi varanam cha devam. Slightly moved, that's good. Now they'll do the rest. In the last, we're going to just put a little bit of camphor in the diya we put there. That's in there. Yeah, that's already there. So
on your temples and whatnot, I'm not coming back here. You keep up all your stuff and you can close. You can all come behind the casket, please. पीछे ये तो पीछे ये बाद में चाहिए करनी
Yeah, so they're going to give us the photo.